61-foot buzzer beater. Devonte Graham's miracle heave didn't just win a game, it broke the internet. With the score tied and barely a second on the clock, Oklahoma City hit a ridiculous circus shot that should have ended everything. But the Pelicans inbounded quickly, and Graham launched a prayer from well beyond half court. The ball floated forever, spinning through the air like it was being pulled by fate before smashing through the net and silencing the entire arena. It was officially measured at 61 feet, making it the longest game-winning buzzer beater ever recorded. Fans watching live had no clue what they had just seen, and players on both sides stood frozen in disbelief. And what comes later in this video gets even stranger. Perfect shooting season. Tony Snell quietly pulled off one of the most flawless shooting seasons in league history. While stars were battling for headlines, Snell delivered absurd efficiency that looked like a video game glitch. He became the only player to ever shoot at least 50% from the field, 50% from deep, and 100% from the free throw line across an entire season. He didn't take wild shots or force plays, but he punished every defensive mistake with calm precision and turned every open look into guaranteed points. Teammates joked that he never missed in practice either, and opposing coaches called his consistency ridiculous. This wasn't flash, it was perfection. And what follows in this lineup adds even more unbelievable records. 11 championships. Bill Russell's dominance didn't resemble anything the NBA has seen before or since. Winning one championship is difficult, winning back-to-back is rare, but Russell collected 11 rings in just 13 seasons and anchored a dynasty that swallowed the entire league. He blocked shots that were never recorded, outworked every opponent, and treated every possession like the season depended on it. His leadership pushed teammates into greatness, and critics were stunned by how effortless he made winning look. Modern basketball has too much parity and too many superstar teams for anyone to touch this number, and that only makes the record feel larger. Russell's imprint on the sport-shaped generations that followed. But the next section dives into a completely different kind of domination. 39 free throws in a game. Dwight Howard set a record that blends chaos, frustration, and comedy into one stat line. When teams embraced the hack-a-Dwight strategy, games turned into free throw marathons designed to expose his biggest weakness. But during one unforgettable night, the tactics spiraled out of control. Howard walked to the line 39 separate times, breaking Wilt Chamberlain's old record and leaving fans stunned at the nonstop whistles. What makes it even crazier is that he repeated the exact same number the very next year with a different team. Both games showcased a mix of dominance and mayhem as he grabbed rebounds, bullied the defense, and forced opponents into desperate strategies. And what happens later in the script only gets more unthinkable. 73-9 season. The 2015 to 2016 Warriors delivered the most explosive regular season in NBA history. Every night became a spectacle as they shredded defenses with pace, ball movement, and three-pointers launched from distances most players wouldn't even consider. They opened the year with 24 straight wins, erased double-digit deficits like nothing, and finished the campaign with a jaw-dropping 73-9 record. That number broke a mark many believed would last forever, and it turned the Warriors into a cultural phenomenon. Steph Curry's unanimous MVP run only strengthened the legend, but the pressure surrounding perfection built a massive target on their backs. Their story didn't end how they wanted, but their record still sits untouched, and the upcoming sections show why. 756 career losses. Vince Carter is remembered for iconic dunks, longevity, and pure excitement, but he also holds one of the strangest records in league history. By the time he retired after 22 seasons, Carter had experienced 756 losses, the most defeats any player has ever accumulated. It wasn't because he was a bad player, but because he played forever, joined young rebuilding teams, and extended his career far beyond the lifespan of most stars. Fans joked that he outlasted trends, eras, and entire cores of franchises, but his dedication to the game kept him on the court year after year. Losing became an odd side effect of longevity, not a reflection of talent. And what comes next reveals an even more unbelievable feat. More career blocks than points. Manute Bol was unlike any player the league had ever seen. Standing at an incredible height, he altered games the moment he stepped onto the court. His shot-blocking instincts turned him into a defensive nightmare. And in 1995, he delivered a 15-block masterclass that set a single game record many believe will stand forever. But the wildest part of his legacy is that he finished his career with more blocks than points, a statistic that sounds impossible in today's offensive-heavy NBA. He swatted shots from guards, forwards, and centers with ease, and his timing was so precise that coaches built entire defensive schemes around him. 15,806 assists. John Stockton's passing record looks untouchable, even in an era obsessed with offense. He piled up 15,806 assists across nearly 2 decades, combining unmatched durability with an understanding of the game that felt supernatural. His connection with Karl Malone created one of the most unstoppable duos ever, and Stockton's ability to control pace kept defenses on edge every possession. He wasn't flashy, but he was ruthlessly effective, breaking down opponents with perfect timing and precision. No active player is remotely close to his total, and analysts openly say this number might never even be approached. Stockton didn't chase highlights, he chased wins, and his record reflects a career defined by mastery. But first, only cool people are subscribed to this channel, so hit that subscribe button before we go any further. 89-foot shot. Baron Davis delivered a highlight that felt like a glitch in reality. When he launched the longest officially measured shot in NBA history, late in the game, with no real chance to set up a normal possession, Davis caught the inbound, took one look down court, and fired a prayer that nobody expected to reach the rim. The ball sailed nearly the full length of the floor, rotating perfectly before slamming through the net and sending the crowd into chaos. Even players on the bench jumped like they had just watched something supernatural. The league later confirmed the distance at an unbelievable 89 feet, making it the farthest shot ever recorded. And what follows next reaches an even crazier level of basketball absurdity. 29 minutes with 0 stats. Joel Anthony produced one of the strangest stat lines the league has ever seen when he checked into a game expecting to make an impact and instead vanished statistically. He ran the floor, set screens, contested shots, and played nearly half the game, but somehow finished with 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, and 0 blocks. It became known as the invisible game, a performance that confused analysts and entertained fans who couldn't believe a player could be that active yet produce nothing measurable. His effort was there on film, but the box score was brutally empty. The game quickly turned into a cult favorite among basketball diehards. And the next record on this list turns the weirdness up even more. 402 threes in a season. Stephen Curry's 2015 to 2016 shooting season looked like something ripped straight out of a video game. With defenders smothering him and entire scouting reports designed just to slow him down, he still managed to drain 402 three-pointers, obliterating his own previous record and pushing the limits of what was possible from long range. He hit deep shots off balance, off the dribble, and even with multiple defenders closing in, making every game feel like a fireworks show. Teams tried trapping him, doubling him, and switching everything, but nothing worked. That level of consistency might never be matched again. And the next section shows another record nearly as untouchable. 136 straight 100-point games. The early 1980s Denver Nuggets turned offense into pure chaos, torching opponents with a fast break attack that rarely slowed down. During that stretch, they scored at least 100 points in an unbelievable 136 straight games, a streak that feels impossible in today's league. They pushed pace on every possession and used constant movement to overwhelm defenses that weren't built to survive that speed. Even playoff teams couldn't contain them, and the streak carried across seasons as if defense simply didn't exist. Modern teams value efficiency and rest, but Denver attacked relentlessly until the record became absurd. No franchise has even come close, and with today's style of play, it might never happen again. But the next section highlights a streak built on durability, not scoring. 1,192 consecutive games. AC, Green didn't just show up to work, he became the definition of reliability. From 1986 to 2001, he never missed a single regular season game, playing through sprains, bruises, and injuries that would sideline most players for weeks. His preparation was legendary, and teammates said his discipline bordered on superhuman. Coaches trusted him in any situation because he never slowed down and never complained. In today's NBA, where load management fuels entire strategies, the idea of playing over 1,000 straight games sounds impossible. Green treated every night like a responsibility, and that mindset pushed his streak into mythical territory. And as remarkable as his durability was, the next 2 records belong to a player who defined statistical dominance. 50.4 points per game. Wilt Chamberlain's 1961 to 1962 scoring season remains one of the most unbelievable displays of dominance in sports history. Averaging 50.4 points per game should not be possible across 80 games, yet Wilt bulldozed through defenders with impossible stamina and relentless relentless aggression. He scored from the post, hit mid-range shots, and ran the floor faster than big men should be able to. No one else has averaged even 40 in a season, making Wilt's mark feel untouchable. He wasn't just scoring, he was overwhelming the league night after night. Opponents threw double and triple teams at him, but nothing slowed him down. And if that number seems ridiculous, the final section showcases the most famous record of them all, 100 points in a game. Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point night isn't just a record, it's a myth carved into basketball history. No cameras captured it, only radio calls and a single photo survive, but the stat line remains almost too wild to believe Wilt scored from everywhere on the court, hit his free throws, and powered through defenders who had no answers. By the fourth quarter, the crowd in Hershey, Pennsylvania was demanding he touch the ball every possession, turning the arena into a feeding frenzy. Players on the Knicks admitted they were helpless, and teammates said the energy in the building felt unreal. No one has seriously threatened it since, and most experts say no one ever will. If you like this video, consider watching this next one, which YouTube thinks you are going to really love.